Dear Naruto Lemon fans, I'm thrilled to invite all of you to my Boosty channel, where you can enjoy exclusive Naruto Lemon scenes in a comfortable and supportive community. Choose from various subscription tiers, from Mini Lemon to God Lemon, and gain access to unique content tailored just for our fans. Plus, subscribers to over Naruto Lemon and God Lemon will receive special mentions in my videos. Support my channel and dive deeper into the world of Naruto today. Dare. A bright ray of sunlight broke through the gloomy clouds, shedding its light upon the indifferent earth. While the earth itself seemed unconcerned by these rays, the flora had a completely different opinion. Every tree, every flower, even the last blade of grass, reached for the life-giving glow. Following the plants, various insects rose up, scurrying swiftly from one house to the next, one of which was crushed by the protagonist of this story. Although he himself didn't notice, or perhaps ignored it, for he had something far more important than the life of another bug. Wandering aimlessly through the still sleepy village, Uzumaki continued to reflect on the day he hated most, his birthday. Every person considered it their duty to insult or strike him, justifying their cruelty to the innocent child with nonsense. However, as soon as he showed his strength, these two-faced creatures immediately rushed to kiss his feet and practically screamed their love for him. The only reason Naruto didn't start cutting down such pathetic creatures was because of his promise to his sensei. Kakashi, how could he deceive me, even though I'm the last genin? Despite everything, the sensei remained the only person in the world Naruto trusted more than himself, and he paid for it. However, the copy ninja trusted his student just as much. Hello, Naruto. The jounin, in his usual manner, arrived late to the meeting, hiding something behind his back. Naruto assumed it was the perverted hermit's book and therefore didn't attach any significance to the gesture. Yeah, maybe we should get straight to the point. You didn't call me for nothing, did you? I wanted to give you this, Kakashi said, holding out the previously hidden gifts, smiling with his only open gaze. The gift itself was a chocolate bar and a strange velvet-wrapped box. You can open it at the moment of your greatest excitement, but you can eat the chocolate right now. Following his charge's gaze, Hatake easily realized that Naruto recognized the chocolate, as it was exactly the same product Kakashi had been leaving in the Uzumaki apartment for years, before Kushina was finally able to awaken from her coma, although even afterward he liked to hide pleasant little things. It makes me nostalgic. How those creatures beat me up, and how I promised you I wouldn't touch them until the end of next year. You know what I'm going to do, right? I understand perfectly well, but I don't want that. Naruto, what will change if you kill them all? I have no friends, Kakashi-sensei. You know perfectly well that I had to kill Sasuke and send the pink-haired bitch after him, although I certainly felt good about killing the latter. I remember you were so angry about what she did. Action? That whore lied to Hinata's face, and because of that lie, she got scared of me and ran off to that mutt. You see, I'm a monster. She's been messing with my Hinata's mind for months and months, Kakashi, and the icing on the cake is that they dumped me on my birthday. I think I had every right to kill that creature. And instead of dispelling that lie, you made Hinata-chan believe it. If you haven't forgotten how you killed that couple, all of Konoha heard their screams. What did you expect after that? I wanted revenge, I just wanted to clear my name. Naruto, I ask you to have fun today and forgive me for opening your wounds. It happens, Kakashi, it happens. And thanks for listening to me, I really. He disappeared again. I wonder if Kushina will go drinking again or not. But why am I asking if I already know the answer? Yes, even Tsunade tried to talk her out of it, saying that drinking wouldn't lift the weight off her soul, but Kushina's skull was harder than usual. So what should I do? Eat ramen, and then what? Naruto leaned his back against the nearest wall, watching the people. Among the endless crowd, the Jinchuriki managed to spot a pair of lavender eyes hidden under dark blue hair. You miss me, huh? Kyubi's response to such a caustic phrase was a quiet growl. If only she were here. Look closer, there's the mutt and Ino here, apparently they're meeting here, and I'm clearly the odd one out. I'll leave before they notice me, I don't want to ruin their day with my presence, Kurama snorted, wanting to say something, but Uzumaki ignored him and simply left, leaving the happy company in the dark. So his beloved bypass once again delighted him with the complete absence of people in its territory. Civilians didn't use it, due to far more convenient options, while shinobi, in turn, used the higher routes and didn't need it, which led to this result. Well, of course, on my birthday, when else? Uzumaki growled, trying to glare at the notice board, which indicated the shop was closed due to some problem. This attempt, predictably, yielded nothing. Burning with hatred for this day, Naruto wandered off to his place, scaring away ordinary people with his very appearance. What will you do? I'll sleep until evening, then I'll go look for my drunk mother. Nothing new, really. He slept until late at night, fully aware of where this would lead. If I'm right, she should have returned by now, and since she's not here, I can only say one thing: she's completely drunk, and I'll have to search for her all over Konoha and beyond. Maybe I can use a mutt, his clan specializes in searching, after all. Although, no, I don't want to show him Kushina in this state, because the mutt will tell everyone tomorrow, which means he's out. My turn. The nine-tailed fox easily guessed where this was all heading. Right, I'll take some of your chakra to improve my sense of smell. During their conversation, Kurama's chakra had already passed through the seal, enhancing its Jinchuriki's body. But he hadn't taken one thing into account: the nine-tails chakra was radiating too strongly into the man's head, as if revealing their essence. For some reason, such revelation only reveals vices. According to the Kyubi, it's not his fault, these people are just like that. I wonder if this is true or if the fox cub is just having fun. It doesn't matter, though, I have more important things to do right now. Having climbed onto the roof, Naruto began searching for a suitable scent. His modified nose allowed for this. I found it, now I just need to get there. The scent led the young Uzumaki to a simple forest clearing, but the sight astonished him. The silver moonlight transformed the place into something incredible, the tall trees gently swaying their branches, as if mimicking the wind. The forest grasses spread like a soft carpet, but this beautiful spot was marred by a small pile of sake bottles and something stronger, upon which the crimson-haired beauty slept. Taking a deep breath, Uzumaki resolutely approached his sleeping target. As soon as the Jinchuriki touched his mother, a mixture of electricity and heat coursed through his hand, transferring across a peculiar bridge into the woman's body. This charge was enough to awaken Kushina, which undoubtedly pleased Naruto, sparing him the trouble of carrying her. Finding you was easy. The young Uzumaki's lips were sealed with a kiss before he could finish his speech. The woman wasn't entirely satisfied with the short kiss, so she decided to deepen it, causing yet another wave of surprise from her own son. Naruto came to his senses and broke the contract, but their lips were still connected by a bridge of saliva. Kurama, what's wrong with her? I told you, my chakra reveals people, or rather, it tears away their masks, and not only am I doing this, but the alcohol has added its own forces, and now you're dealing with an explosive mixture. And to be honest, you're not at all against it. Just admit that you want it, after all, these are your true desires. There was supposed to be hentai here, but I couldn't describe it properly, and I didn't want to ruin this work with blatant garbage. Naruto and Kushina hadn't had any contact for several days. Whenever they accidentally ran into each other, her face would immediately turn red with anger, and the owner of such a lovely face would quickly retreat. Even when the Jinchuriki pinned her against the wall, instead of answering, he heard a shadow clone disappear. Uzumaki was completely fed up with this, and he opened Kakashi's gift, which contained an expensive lighter and a contrasting pack of cheap cigarettes. The point of a lighter and cigarettes when Kakashi himself didn't smoke was unclear to Naruto, but the gift itself gave him strength, and he set out to achieve his goal. Before me stood a wooden door carved with runic symbols. This door, so precious to me, was like an impenetrable wall, shielding from my gaze the most precious person in my miserable life. I stood before it for over 30 minutes, trying to reclaim the paltry shreds of self-confidence, so terrified was I of opening it and entering Kushina's presence. Naruto, be a man and say what you think. If Kushina refuses you, you will certainly suffer, but will that torment be greater than the wounds inflicted by your doubt? The ancient fox decided to support his friend, preparing to forcibly take his body so Naruto wouldn't harm himself. Afterward, he planned to leave this country, giving his friend a completely new life. You're right, this life is too short, but, Kami, I'm so scared. A slight tremor began to shake Uzumaki's body, and a sticky, oily sweat began to appear on his face. However, the Jinchuriki found the strength to grab the door handle and open it. Wiping the sweat from his face, Naruto took a deep breath of the seemingly icy air and entered the room. Good luck, Naruto. Kyubi rested his head on his paws and began to watch his neighbor's actions. Despite the space being illuminated by several lamps, the room seemed to be drowning in darkness. Uzumaki's eyes wandered around the room in search of the treasured waterfall of scarlet hair, but he could not find it anywhere. Where is it? The Jinchuriki spat angrily, restraining the urge to destroy anything valuable with brute force or ninja techniques. Approaching the window, Uzumaki pulled his favorite lighter from his jacket pocket, a gift from Kakashi-sensei for his 19th birthday. It was beautifully crafted, made of steel with bone-shaped fittings. Where his teacher got the money for such a thing was none of Naruto's business. After all, it was none of his business. Such a beautiful lighter came with ordinary cigarettes, which, from the outside, evoked a strange feeling of something wrong, but their owner didn't care, he simply enjoyed them. Blowing out smoke, he pondered what he could say to Kushina, how to convince her to disregard dogma and taboos and live a life of something more than just relatives. He wanted the red-haired beauty's body, heart, and soul, even though he knew he would be fiercely resisted. Realizing the stupidity and unrequited nature of his desires, the man allowed himself a painful smile. Looking at his reflection in the mirror, the blonde discovered blood-red eyes sparkling in the darkness, like a weak fire. We're thinking about the same thing, right, little fox? If she rejects you, then you will take her by force, am I right? No, I've already broken Kushina's heart, there's no point in breaking it again just because of a mixture of lust and pain. Besides, she'll make noise and it'll attract attention, and I don't need that kind of happiness. We'll leave this place anyway, with or without Kushina. I think I'll change the lighting, it's too bright in here. Having turned off all the lamps, Uzumaki placed a chair in the middle of the room, deriving some pleasure from the air of mystery hovering around his crimson-eyed figure, almost completely invisible in the dim light. You've always liked playing with lighting. We'll wait as long as it takes, and besides, you're used to it. How cruel. Naruto, for now, let me tell you a story from my memory about a similar relationship. The nine-tailed fox recounted the ancient tale for over half an hour. As such a story didn't have a happy ending. The woman couldn't bear the fact that she'd become pregnant by her own son and killed herself, followed by her lover. My story will have a happy ending, have no doubt about it. Ruining the carefully crafted atmosphere of mystery, Naruto momentarily raised his fist in the air and shouted his determination, though a second later he slapped himself in the face. Another 15 minutes of agonizing waiting were not in vain, and the door lock began to open, letting the hero of the occasion into the building. Well, hello, my dear. In the semi-darkness, Uzumaki's current eyes stood out especially brightly, however, his mother's eyes were just as enticing. What are you doing here? A woman stood at the door, her undeniably stunning figure hidden from the world by a green, floor-length dress with an open back, revealing her snow-white skin. Her long, scarlet hair, reaching her hips, was loose. Her beautiful blue eyes were so captivating that one glance into them was enough to never forget them. I want to talk about us, a conversation of 20 to 30 minutes, no more. There is no us, Naruto, I am your mother, our night was a mistake. And a few days ago you said something else, Naruto, please make me yours. Come inside me, I want your children, my love. After that you kissed me, just to refresh your memory. I was drunk, it was a mistake. Kushina, understand, I love you. I want you to be mine. Unable to bear the excitement, Uzumaki decided on a desperate step. He lunged forward, reaching his mother, his lips clinging to hers and his eyes closed. I see only a woman in you, I want your body, your soul, and your heart. The boy's excitement was so strong that he didn't dare look at her, waiting for his beloved's reaction. It came, but it wasn't what Naruto had hoped for. A slap, that's all that awaited him, and the force of that blow could easily have broken Uzumaki's jaw. Instead, it only cut the boy's lips, causing a thin trickle of blood to flow from his mouth, almost as red as the Jinchuriki's eyes. Get out, get out! Kushina screamed furiously, trying to slap her son again. However, her hand was caught by Naruto's, whose eyes had once again turned blue, but instead of the joy and hope they had held before, there was only coldness. A single tear was streaming from his eyes, and despite this, his grip was too tight for the woman. I understand, but it's so difficult with you women, Naruto said, releasing the bloody habanero from his hand and heading for the exit. I will always love you, Kushina, and I can never accept another man by your side. Wiping away the traces of his tears, the man tried to push away the ice that was rapidly capturing every ounce, every drop of Uzumaki's consciousness, which couldn't help but show on his darkened face. A few seconds later, Naruto was already jumping across another rooftop, pondering how to live his life from now on. Naruto. Please shut up, I don't have time for you right now. The fox, surprisingly, listened to its host's request and fell silent, allowing Uzumaki to hop in complete silence. Oddly enough, his feet led him to the same clearing where he had bonded with his own mother. Do you think chakra can heal my wounds? I warned you, such stories always have a sad ending, now you know this from personal experience. Remember how you said that you would take my body by destroying my mind? What are you hinting at, boy? Take it, it's yours. You run away from problems, from pain, so easily. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Why should I continue to exist? The only person I loved more than life rejected me, and my friends have long since forgotten me in pursuit of their own desires. I'm left alone and unwanted again, I'm tired of this. Take my pain, take my soul, Kurama. Naruto, hearing the scream of his beloved, the Jinchuriki turned around, noticing the red-haired disaster, he only smiled bitterly, don't do this. And why? Because, Habanero faltered. Because what? Uzumaki said lifelessly. I can't say. Kushina cowered in fear. As soon as her last words were spoken, the young man's hand reached for the seal on his stomach. Stop, the red-haired girl jerked forward in horror, I'll tell you. Taking a deep breath, she screamed at the top of her lungs, because I love you, fool. The young man stopped moving his hand towards the seal and turned his whole body towards his mother. And that only made you realize I was about to give my soul to be eaten? Naruto asked angrily. No. I realized this a long time ago, but I denied it. I was afraid of public opinion, and then I remembered that in our clan, this is not a problem. I was afraid that our possible future children could be born with genetic abnormalities, but then I remembered that our chakra and blood itself corrects any genetic abnormalities that may arise. As soon as I remembered this, I immediately rushed after you and found you here and immediately understood what you were planning to do. With each phrase, the young woman took steps towards her beloved son. And such horror gripped me. Now she was standing right in front of him, looking straight into his eyes with tenderness and love. I am so afraid of losing you. Beloved, Kushina's hand gently rested on Naruto's cheek. I love you, son. Both as a mother and as a woman, Kushina's naturally pink, soft, full lips pressed against Naruto's in a tender kiss that soon turned from loving to passionate. Naruto's tongue intertwined with his mother's nimble one in a passionate battle between their lips. It wasn't immediately clear who would win this confrontation. Finally, Kushina gave in to her son's domineering tongue and allowed it to dominate her mouth. The young man's hand settled on his mother's firm bottom and squeezed it, causing the woman to moan into Naruto's mouth. "Let's go home, son. I've got a surprise in store," the red-haired woman said, her voice slightly hoarse with excitement, her sultry gaze scanning her son from head to toe, her gaze particularly lingering on the hardness in his groin area. "I even became curious about what you were planning, Mom." Uzumaki smiled predatorily, moving closer to his mother's ear and biting her earlobe, sending a charge of electricity throughout the woman's body. "Believe me, my love," Habanero smiled seductively, "you will enjoy our date. And its continuation. Naruto, you..." Despite all the ancient fox's attempts to hide his excitement, it still leaked out, ignoring such a trifle as the lack of evidence in the phrase. "You understand that at the very least she's not telling you something, and at the most she's lying about everything. If that's what you're asking, little fox, then yes, I understand. I can see it in her eyes, she's simply afraid of you, and even more so, she's afraid of me. Kushina is cowardly hiding behind a mask of love, just to keep you from coming to light. Perhaps our relationship also played a role, so she started spouting outright nonsense about the clan just so I'd believe her, and I wanted to believe her, I wanted to so badly. What are you feeling now? Pain, anger, resentment, disappointment, and fragile hope. You understand that no one wants to see lies in the eyes of their loved ones. Even now, I want to believe them, but I can't. This is the rare occasion when I regret seeing people's lies. Naruto, I'm sorry, but I warned you about the consequences." Despite everything, Kurama felt sorry for his friend, but this did not stop the fox from reminding him of his actions once again. "You warned me, but like a child I didn't listen and paid the price, but it was worth it. I wonder how fate will turn things out next," said the young Uzumaki, running his claws over the seal, sprinkling it with drops of fresh blood. "What do you think, fox cub, have I earned my piece of happiness? That's up to you. You humans often say that a man's fate lies in his own clutches, and you're no exception. Do as you see fit, but no matter what happens next, I'll always be by your side, Naruto."